Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button, and keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or in trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are on Tuesday, November 28th. We're going to take a look at Mara today. So with Bitcoin pushing, we see an increase in volume here in Mara. We see a nice push upward, and it is reaching above this 1232 resistance level. So I thought we'd come in, put some additional levels on the chart. And also it's broken and gotten some distance from this downtrend resistance that you see right here, which we had previously in the chart. So I'm going to put in some uptrend support. How do you like those words together? First one, I think there's actually two here. So I think there's one here. This is sort of the more chill version, which might end up to be a longer term uptrend support. We'll see how it plays out. And then there's this more near in one, more of a, so sort of a rocket ship kind of uptrend support. So this one I would expect to, exhaust at some point. It's pretty far away from it at the moment, so it's an impressive move. It certainly has, motion to move just in terms of where the price has been previously, as it pertains to where it is now. And so I don't discount the idea that there's room, but I'm just saying at some point I would expect that it wouldn't continue on this crazy uptrend, but may revert down more to this chill uptrend, if you will, over the long run. We'll see. It may ditch this altogether and just develop something sort of in the middle, because also at some point, even if you're just sort of up here, this to this gets pretty far away. And I don't know if it'll bridge that gap to the downside, but Bitcoin's a wild ride. And if this is sort of going to follow that lead, then it's just sort of natural to think it's going to play out in a similar fashion. Now, horizontal lines for our resistance levels. There's, I think, some swings that we can grab, from back here. So there's all this, see what I mean? How much sort of price it has lost over periods. This one, let me see, where do I want this guy? I think I like this positioning here. 1383. Okay, so that's pretty tight in. That's not bad. And then if we get these, let me see, what's this swing low? Okay, I like that. I like that. I like that. Okay, so I'm just going to put a couple. We're going to call this one out up here because it's a, strong double top there, here to here. But there's probably something in between there that we can either highlight or will develop as price action takes place, if and when it stretches up there. But, we do have some run room potentially here. This is probably, this is about $1.50, which is, more than a 10% gain. So let me see if there's an additional level in here somewhere. I mean, it's so choppy through here. Could say something here around the $13 mark, but I'm not going to put that in because again, it's just going to clutter, and 13 is obviously just going to be a psychological level, right? It's like this, trying to hold over 15 is a psychological level. The approach to 18 way up here, those things just sort of make sense. So we'll know that that's sort of there if it comes into play. But even more important than these resistance levels to me is going to be if it can hold this uptrend support. That's going to be the clear winning element in terms of how the chart plays out here. And again, if it does fall through, and even if it falls through relatively hard, I'll be interested to see what it does on this uptrend support down the road, if it bangs into this, because it's, it didn't confirm it a bunch of times. You could maybe say it confirmed it like 2 to 3 times max. So I don't know how much it wants to develop there or how strong it actually is, but I thought I'd point it out just in case it leaves this one, since it's so steep, relatively quickly. There's something else to kind of fall back on. Now, think or swim study wise, if we take a look here, it is stretching out the upper bound of the channel, which, previously on these big runs, it can spend several days out of the channel. The question is, when it comes back into the channel, what does it do? Does it use the upper bound as support? Does it use the cloud as support? Here, it didn't do either of those. It came down to the mid-range pretty quickly and was looking like it wanted to use it as support, but then fell through, and then came the downturn. And now it's trying to have a nice curved bottom here, nice swoop up. You had a conviction candle here, take that for what you will. There was a down conviction candle here, which, played out over the long run, but there was, sort of a mess of conviction candles over here, right? Just a big cluster of them that didn't really play out super, super well. But, that's what any of these things are, just like indicators, and any of this stuff, even support and resistance levels. They can tell us what they can tell us, but sometimes price just moves, regardless of where those things are. Okay. TTM squeeze indicator triggered and fired. Now it's just putting in its third fire. So this fire is just taking shape as this is leaving the channel. So the question is the big move about to happen? Is it just getting amped up? And even then, it's not always a sort of a surefire bet to say the motion that it's moving in when it fires is the motion that's going to be the actual big move. Sometimes there's a counter move. We see that quite often, actually. But this is a trigger and a refire, which I probably talked about in the last Mara video. I don't know, I'd have to go back and look, but because nothing really happened on this previous trigger and fire, I probably said there, I'm waiting for it to hug the mid-range of the channel, which it did, and trigger and refire. So that's what we're seeing at the moment. And this is where we're seeing, big sort of take off at the moment. The question is, when is the move sort of really, really playing out and taking shape? This certainly could be it because it's up out of the channel. But sometimes the slingshot, or the boomerang, if you will, is hot and heavy. So we'll see how that takes shape. But I'm keeping an eye on it for sure, especially since it's stretched. Impressive that it even got here in a relatively short period of time. I mean, this was a pretty monster move. That's why I say this is a very steep uptrend, so we'll see how that support holds. But good look here, getting up out of the channel, and like I said, we'll see if it can spend some time outside of there and what that stretch looks like, and then when it does at some point come back into the channel, what does that look like and where does it go from there? All right, folks, I hope that your trading week is off to a good start, and as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.